it's interesting because it's really tempting to think of contentment as the opposite of ambition. And I almost see contentment as a means toward being able to maintain one's ambition. So contentment is really about getting clear on what one needs in terms of meaning and balance and joy with our work and ease. And it kind of speaks to the ebb and flow of work and life in general, right? I mean, there are times in our career where the best step forward is to take a step back. And you look at so many people right now who are really grappling with burnout and stress and exhaustion after the last 2.5 years almost. And to expect that they're going to keep charging forward at the pace that they were, in the way that they were, that's not sustainable. And so for many right now, contentment is a real priority. How do I strike that balance? How do I find a sense of meaning in my work so that I can find that flow state, so that I can enjoy the work that I'm doing and stick around longer? I mean, it's in an organization's best interest to help people tap that contentment, because a contented person is less likely to bail and be part of the migration. And so part of it is for the employee experience. But I think about, for instance, with balance, if my focus right now, my priority is contentment, I need greater balance in my life, finding that is going to make me happier, make me a more engaged employee. But there's growth to be had in that as well. So how do I strike that balance? I mean, do I need to become more productive so that I'm getting more done over here, so I've got more time over here? Do I need to delegate certain things? Do I need to unlearn certain things? Do I need to reevaluate what's on my plate and shed a couple of things off of it? So again, it's not just a model that speaks to engagement. We're talking about how can we also learn and grow and develop in the process?
It's a very interesting point. I think it's a superb point, and especially talks to today's world. This is like the 7 areas in the book. They outline like all the parts of a person's professional career that are super important as part of the every single day, right? And where promotions are the one-time thing. That's well, we'll come back to that like in a second, right? But like it's a point in time, and everything else is every single day, right? And trying to find that balance, the thing which you said before, right? The balance between contribution and skills and, and connection and confidence, and then challenge, and then contentment. And contentment seems like it's kind of, how do you take basically everything in the day and the week, the month and the year, and try to find contentment in that, because it's kind of like a balance, right? It's like there's a point between it's a bit too hard to it's a bit too easy, to there's a bit too much responsibility to there's not enough responsibility, to now like I'm working at my peak, now I'm about to be burnt out, right? And so contentment seems to kind of pull these things all together in some way. Is that the right way of thinking about it or not? I could be wrong.
I love that way of thinking about it. I mean, you've kind of opened my eyes. It's almost like contentment operates at a meta level.
Yeah, because to be content is almost the holy grail, right? I'm really happy with my balance of exercise, and I get to do this thing on Mondays, and I'm speaking to that person on Tuesdays. I'm contributing in some way, so I'm kind of content in a way.
I guess my thought is, when we think about, contentment as a meta, or whatever the meta is here that we want to aspire to, that it might not be a day by day sort of thing, that we're not going to balance all these things out and do them all on the same day. But over the course of our careers, we're probably going to lean in some of these directions more than others at different times. And if we recognize this framework, if we can internalize it, maybe do a self-assessment one time, get to know the framework. Over time, we're going to start to recognize those little yearnings in our soul that say, oh gosh, I'm getting a little bored and complacent here. I need some new challenge. That's how I really want to learn and push myself outside of the comfort zone and stretch beyond what I know. And now that's the time. But then I might 6 months later have burned myself out a little bit on that challenge. Think, okay, now my opportunity is maybe connection, and learning and growing through connection, because that's how I'm going to replenish myself, or contribution. So this idea that maybe we don't have that meta balance in a day or a week or even a month, but over the course of our career to be able to find expression and growth in all of this, that's a career well lived.